Martigny is the capital of the French-speaking district of Martigny in the canton of Valais in Switzerland. It lies at an elevation of 471 meters, and its population is approximately 15,000 inhabitants. It is a junction of roads joining Italy, France and Switzerland. One road links it over the Great Street, Bernard Pass to Aosta, and the other over the Col de la Fourclaz to Chamonix. In winter, Martigny is appreciated for its numerous nearby Alp ski resorts such as Verbier. Geography: Martigny lies at an elevation of 471 meters, about 33 kilometers south-southeast of Montreux. It is on the east edge of the Rhône Valley, at the foot of the Swiss Alps, and is located at the point where the southwestern flowing Rhône turns 90 degrees northward and heads toward Lake Léman. The Drans River flows from the Valais Alps into the Rhône here. Martigny has an area, as of 2013, update, of 24.97 square kilometers. Of this area, 31.5% is used for agricultural purposes, while 39.8% is forested. Of the rest of the land, 23.3% is settled and 5.3% is unproductive land. In 1964, the current municipality was created with the merger of Martignyville and Martigny-Bourg. History: the Gaulish name of the settlement in the 1st century BCE was either Octodurus or Octodurum, an oppidum or vicus of the Veragri. Octodurus was conquered by the Roman Empire in 57 BC, and occupied by Servius Galba with the 12th Legion and some cavalry in order to protect the strategically important pass of Pœninis, by which road the mercators had used to travel at great risk as well as paying great tolls. Galba, after capturing many local strongholds and receiving the submission of the people, sent troops into the country of the Nantuates, and with his remaining army determined to winter in Octodurus. Galba gave one part of the town to the Gauls to winter in, and assigned the other to his troops. He fortified himself with a ditch and rampart, and thought he was safe. He was, however, suddenly attacked by the Gauls before his defences were complete or all his supplies were brought into the camp, resulting in the Battle of Octodurus, and a very indecisive Roman victory. The Romans estimated the Gaulish force at more than 30,000, and Caesar says that more than a third part were destroyed. Nevertheless, Galba, declining to try fortune too often, burned the hamlet and retreated to the province the next day. Octodurus was later on joined to the Roman Empire, as part of the Alps Pœnini province. Pliny says that the Octodurenses received the Latinitas. Octodurus declined over the following decades, and between AD 41 and 47, a new Roman colony named Forum Claudii Augusta, later renamed to Forum Claudii Vallensium, was established nearby to take the role of capital of the Valais Pœnina province. The town appears in the Antonine Itinerary and in the Tabula Peutingeriana. In the noted Prov, the place is called Civitas Vallensium Octodurus. At a later period it was called Forum Claudii Vallensium Octodurensium, as an inscription shows. The first historically attested bishop of Octodurus was Theodulus, who was present at the Council of Aquileia in 381. A restored Roman amphitheatre, temples, citizen living quarters, and thermal baths can be seen in Martigny today. One authority speaks of the remains of a Roman aqueduct at Martigny. Many coins, and other memorials of the Roman time, have been found about the place. There are no records of the town during the early medieval period. In the Middle Ages, the town took Martin of Tours as its patron saint, and became known by the German name Martinach, recorded in Latinized form as Martiniacum in 1018. The church of Martigny, presumably at the site of the ancient cathedral, was consecrated to Saint Mary in 1177, and to Notre Dame des Champs in 1420. Martigny was placed under the protection of the House of Savoy in 1351, passing to St. Maurice in 1475. As the Seven Tithings in treaty with the Bishop of Sion and the canton of Bern seized all of the lower Valais, the town was granted a degree of autonomy, its citizens being allowed to elect their own local officials, known as the syndics. The economy of Martigny was traditionally based on agriculture and viticulture. The town was often flooded by the Drans, most severely in 1595 and 1818. From 1798 to 1802, Martigny was part of the Napoleonic Republic of Valais, then in the Rodanic Republic, which passed to France from 1810 to 1814. The Valais passed to Switzerland in 1815. In the 1840s, Martigny was the stage of a confrontation between the liberal radical, Young Switzerland, and the conservative, Old Switzerland movements, culminating in the battle at the Trient of the 21st of May 1844, taking place a few kilometers outside town. The town was split into independent municipalities of Martignyville, Charette, Martigny-Bourg and Martigny-Combe in the 1830s. La Batiaz and Trient were further split off Martigny-Combe in 1845 and 1899, respectively. This administrative fragmentation of the town was reversed in the 20th century, with a fusion of Martignyville with La Batiaz in 1956 and with Martigny-Bourg in 1964. Martigny was connected to the Simplon Railway in 1878, with a separate railway station built in 1906. It was connected to the Swiss motorway system in 1981 with the completion of the Great Street Bernhard exit of the A9. Martigny had a population of 2,545 in 1850, a 3,550 in 1900 and a 5,915 in 1950. Coat of arms. The blazon of the municipal coat of arms is gules, a lion rampant argent bearing a hammer or. Demographics. Martigny has a population of 17,342. As of 2008 update, 30.6% of the population are resident foreign nationals. Over the last 10 years the population has changed at a rate of 13.1%. It has changed at a rate of 6.7% due to migration and at a rate of 3.5% due to births and deaths. Most of the population speaks French as their first language, Portuguese is the second most common and Italian is the third. There are 227 people who speak German and 9 people who speak Romansh. As of 2008 update, the gender distribution of the population was 48.7% male and 51.3% female. The population was made up of 5,114 Swiss men and 2,566 non-Swiss men. There were 5,830 Swiss women and 2,268 non-Swiss women. Of the population in the municipality, 5,162 or about 35.9% were born in Martigny and lived there in 2000. There were 3,554 or 24.7% who were born in the same canton, while 1,439 or 10.0% were born somewhere else in Switzerland, and 3,694 or 25.7% were born outside of Switzerland. The age distribution of the population is children and teenagers make up 23.8% of the population, while adults make up 61.3% and seniors make up 14.8%. As of 2000 update, there were 5,918 people who were single and never married in the municipality. There were 6,723 married individuals, 922 widows or widowers and 798 individuals who are divorced. As of 2000 update, there were 6,001 private households in the municipality, and an average of 2.3 persons per household. There were 2,211 households that consist of only one person and 385 households with 5 or more people. In 2000, update, a total of 5,766 apartments were permanently occupied, while 900 apartments were seasonally occupied and 168 apartments were empty. As of 2009, update, the construction rate of new housing units was 6.2 new units per 1,000 residents. The vacancy rate for the municipality, in 2010, update, was 2.72%. The historical population is given in the following chart. Heritage sites of national significance. The Centre Valais and du Film, La Bâtie Castle, the three museums and the Roman-era city are listed as Swiss Heritage Site of national significance. The entire town of Martigny-Ville and the small town of Martigny-Bourg are part of the inventory of Swiss Heritage Sites. Fondation Gianada. La Bâtie Castle. Restored Roman-era amphitheatre. Cow fight in the amphitheatre. Culture in the Gianada Museum. The Romans left many archaeological remains in Martigny. The city is known for its amphitheatre, which was restored in 1978. Cow fights are held in the amphitheatre during early autumn for the comptoir. The city is notable for its Pierre Gianada Foundation Museum. This is the most important cultural attraction in Martigny and, in addition to the Gallo-Roman Museum, houses a car museum. The building was constructed around the remains of a former Roman temple built on top of Roman ruins. The foundation hosts 3 painting exhibitions every year, with works by renowned masters. The Earth Science Museum is another must-see museum in Martigny if you are interested in understanding the Alps better. Indeed, this museum presents a 3-story exhibition about geology in Valais, crystals from Valais and mines of Valais. Twin town. Martigny is twinned with the town of Aizon-la-Romaine, France. Politics. In the 2007 federal election, the most popular party was the FDP, which received 37% of the vote. The next 3 most popular parties were the CVP, the SP and the SVP. In the federal election, a total of 5,030 votes were cast, and the voter turnout was 56.9%. In the 2009 Conseil d'État Staatsrat election, a total of 4,057 votes were cast, of which 335, or about 8.3%, were invalid. The voter participation was 46.4%, which is much less than the cantonal average of 54.67%. In the 2007 Swiss Council of State election, a total of 4,947 votes were cast, of which 412, or about 8.3%, were invalid. The voter participation was 57.0%, which is similar to the cantonal average of 59.88%. Economy and agriculture. Martigny is the headquarters of the Group Mutual and is the headquarters of the watch brand 121 Time. The city is surrounded by vineyards and orchards and field crops and is famous for the resulting gastronomy, which is celebrated at many area restaurants and guest houses. The relatively warm Valais sunshine is ideal for growing strawberries, apricots, asparagus, and the wine grapes, which grow on the adjacent hills and steep slopes. The nearby Drans River drains to the Rhône in the valley where Martigny lies. As of 2010, update, Martigny had an unemployment rate of 6.5%. As of 2008, update, there were 251 people employed in the primary economic sector and about 74 businesses involved in this sector. 2,211 people were employed in the secondary sector and there were 188 businesses in this sector. 7,812 people were employed in the tertiary sector, with 871 businesses in this sector. There were 7,227 residents of the municipality who were employed in some capacity, of which females made up 44.2% of the workforce. In 2008, update, the total number of full-time equivalent jobs was 8,663. The number of jobs in the primary sector was 145, of which 137 were in agriculture and 8 were in forestry or lumber production. The number of jobs in the secondary sector was 2,100, of which 897 or were in manufacturing, 2 or were in mining, and 1,082 were in construction. The number of jobs in the tertiary sector was 6,418. In the tertiary sector, 1,491 or 23.2% were in wholesale or retail sales or the repair of motor vehicles. 582 or 9.1% were in the movement and storage of goods. 594 or 9.3% were in a hotel or restaurant. 103 or 1.6% were in the information industry. 740 or 11.5% were the insurance or financial industry. 827 or 12.9% were technical professionals or scientists. 286 or 4.5% were in education, and 964 or 15.0% were in healthcare. In 2000 update, there were 4,424 workers who commuted into the municipality and 2,362 workers who commuted away. The municipality is a net importer of workers, with about 1.9 workers entering the municipality for every one leaving. Of the working population, 10.4% used public transportation to get to work, and 58.8% used a private car. Religion. From the 2000 census update, 11,089 or 77.2% were Roman Catholic, while 715 or 5.0% belonged to the Swiss Reformed Church. Of the rest of the population, there were 115 members of an Orthodox Church. There were 13 individuals who belonged to the Christian Catholic Church, and there were 309 individuals who belonged to another Christian church. There were 2 individuals who were Jewish, and 696 who were Islamic. There were 29 individuals who were Buddhist, 18 individuals who were Hindu, and 13 individuals who belonged to another church. 769 belonged to no church, are agnostic or atheist, and 745 individuals did not answer the question. Education. In Martigny, about 4,520 or of the population have completed non-mandatory upper secondary education, and 1,487 or have completed additional higher education. Of the 1,487 who completed tertiary schooling, 53.2% were Swiss men, 29.3% were Swiss women, 11.0% were non-Swiss men, and 6.5% were non-Swiss women. As of 2000 update, there were 835 students in Martigny who came from another municipality, while 502 residents attended schools outside the municipality. Martigny is home to the Médiathèque Valais Martigny Library. The library has 57,756 books or other media, and loaned out 144,524 items in the same year. It was open a total of 280 days with average of 22 hours per week during that year. Transportation. Martigny is on the high-speed, Simplon line of the Swiss Federal Railway, SBB, which connects Italy and southern Switzerland to northeastern Switzerland and the cities of Lausanne and Geneva. It also is the origin of narrow-gauge railroads and bus routes that climb into the nearby mountains on both sides of the Rhône Valley in which Martigny lies. One railroad goes west to Chamonix, France, crossing the border at Le Châteillard. The other railroad goes southeast to Châbol-en-Auxerre. The regional transportation agency known as TMRSA operates this service, and the ski trains known as the Mont Blanc Express and the St. Bernard Express. See the transportation map provided by the TMR website in the external links section below. Thanks to Martigny's transport connections, the winter sports regions of the four Valais ports du Soleil and Avranches are easily reached. It has been nearly 1 century that the two original railway companies Martigny-Orsières and Martigny-Châteillard began serving the valleys of Intremont and Trient. In 1990, the boards of directors of Meaux and MC decided to combine for common management. However, each company would maintain an independent status. 2 new trains were started: the St. Bernard Express for the Meaux, and the Mont Blanc Express for the MC. Later, the Octodurum Voyages and Orsières Octodurum Transports companies were taken over. TMRSA is an important employer in the region with some 180 permanent staff. The French holiday resort of Chamonix is accessible from Martigny in 1.5 hours using the scenic narrow-gauge tracks of the Mont Blanc Express, crossing the wild Trient Gorge and ascending to breathtaking heights towards Chamonix. Travelers will see waterfalls crashing down and majestic mountain crags rising in the background. Shady forests alternate with cozy villages and ultimately give way onto the grandiose glacier of Mont Blanc, Europe's highest peak. The St. Bernard Express takes passengers from Martigny to Orsières and from there by bus through beautiful mountain countryside to the hospice on the Great Street. Bernard pass through the Val d'Entremont to Orsières, from where a bus will take you to Champex-Lac, La Foulie, or if it is summer, to the hospice on the Grand Street. Bernard Pass. There are the legendary kennels where the dogs of the same name are bred, as well as the small local museum to view the Roman artifacts found here. Notable Martin Rain, Gerald Metros, wheelchair sportsman and motivational speaker. Pascal Couchepin, politician, president of the Swiss Confederation in 2003 and 2008. Yannick Ikoya, ski mountaineer. Pierre-Marie Terrain-Marcaz, ski mountaineer. Stéphane Lambiel, figure skater, 2 times world champion. Sebastian Reichenbach, cyclist. International relations. Twin towns, sister cities. Martigny is twinned with Aosta, Italy. Gallery. Downtown Martigny. View from Hotel du Parc. A statue of a minotaur in the center of Martigny. Main square. Flags of Switzerland, Martigny and Valais.